show run, and you will see how to create the sub interfaces. So I have created the sub interface for VLAN 10 encapsulation.1q IP address 10.1, and based on the given network 16.10.1, 16.10.1, 16.20.1, 16.30.1. Okay, based on this network, I have configured the sub interfaces on the router. Okay, so the next step then, so this is done from the router, and now so the second step, configure the VTP on all the switches, switch 1, switch 2, and switch 3 with the below parameter. So switch 1, we will configure the VTP mode server. So the switch 1 will be the VTP mode. This is your switch 1, and configure this switch 1 as a VTP mode server. Okay, and the domain name, VTP domain name is IoT, and VTP password is also IoT. It depends on the given instruction. Okay, you can give any domain name and any password. Okay, so I will use the same IoT. Okay, IoT everywhere. So now first we need to configure the VTP. Okay, do you know what is the purpose of the VTP? Yes, please. Any one of you can tell me what is the purpose of VTP? Yes, please.
It will assign the VLAN.
Yes, it will transmit the VLANs automatically to all the switches. So you don't need to configure the VLANs on all the switches. Okay, switch 1, switch 2, switch 3. So it means if you will configure the VLAN on switch 1, so it will automatically transmit to all other switches. Suppose if you have 100 switches in your network, so you don't need to configure all the VLANs on all the switches. Okay, did you get now? So VTP mode. Okay, so is it a client or server? Let me check. So this is server, all both are the client. So this is server. Okay, VTP mode, so server. So this is VTP mode server, your switch is server, and it is already server. And VTP, so VTP here, see now, so you need to set the domain. So VTP domain. Okay, so the domain name is, what is the domain name? IoT is your domain name. Okay, IoT. And now you can configure the VTP password. Okay, again based on the given instruction, configure the VTP password IoT. You can write anyone. Okay, maybe the Cisco, student first name, student second name, it depends. Okay, sometime if they will, in exam they will ask you, okay, VTP password student first name, so type student first name, okay, as a VTP domain name. Okay, if they will ask VTP password student ID, just type the student ID 66J123 instead of IoT. Okay, in my case, based on the given instruction, so VTP domain is IoT and VTP password is also IoT. Okay, so this is your password. Okay, now we need to check this FA02 is trunk or not, and we also need to configure the VLANs. So the instructions here, so switch 1, switch 2, switch 3. Okay, switch 1, switch 2, and so we also need to configure 10, 20, and 30. Okay, so we will configure the VLANs here only. If you will see here, VLAN, what are these VLAN? 1 minute, I will make this one here. Okay, now the instruction, this is the instruction here, we can easily check. Okay, now so first we need to configure the VLANs. Okay, first let me configure the VLAN on this switch. Okay, switch number 1. So switch number 1, we need to configure the VLAN 10, 20, 30. Okay, how to configure the VLAN? Can you please tell me? Yes, please. VLAN,
VLAN 10.
yeah, then name server, yeah.
So yes, VLAN 20.
Okay, VLAN 20, name IoT.
Client.
Okay, and VLAN 30, name wireless. Okay, you can see now we have configured all the VLAN. Show VLAN brief. If you will see here, I have configured all these VLAN. If you will see, based on the instruction, I have configured VLAN 10, 20, and 30. Okay, so these are the VLANs. But these VLANs, I have only configured on the switch 1. Okay, I only configure on switch 1. So what do you think? So this one, okay, 1 minute. So I need to make this port, see, this is the port FA02. Okay, so if you will see here, this is FA02 port. Okay, this FA02 port, I need to make it as a trunk. This FA02, I need to make it as a trunk. Okay, so this FA02, see here, this one FA02, I need to make it as a trunk. So I will go to the FA02. This is my FA02. So I need to make this port as a trunk. Okay, switch port mode trunk. Okay, this is the command. Okay, so to make the FA02 as a trunk, just write switch port mode trunk. Okay, so it will make as a trunk. Okay, now once you make this one as a trunk here, see, so you have configured all the VLANs here, but also you need to make this FA03 as a trunk as well. This FA03 also you need to make it as a trunk. Okay, now I will make FA03 as a trunk, because so the connection between the switches must be trunk. Okay, this FA03, go to the FA03 and make this one also as a trunk. Switch port mode trunk. Okay, so I made these two port as a trunk. Okay, now here, if you will come to this switch 2 and switch 3, these switches, the VLAN will not be transmitted to these switches. Okay, then how? Because you need to set the VLAN and the VTP. Okay, see here, show VLAN brief. Do we have any VLAN here? No. And even though we don't need to create the VLANs on this switch, so this switch 2, so the VLAN should be transmitted automatically to switch 2. Okay, so how it will come to switch 2? Here we need to set the VTP domain name and VTP password. Okay, so what should be the domain name and what should be the password? So the domain should be the IoT. Okay, so as I told you, so this is the VTP mode. VTP domain is IoT and VTP password is also IoT. And these, the VTP mode is client. Okay, these switch 2 and switch 3 should be client. So what is the difference between server and client? Can you please tell me? Yes, Malik, tell me. So what is the difference?
Server give VLAN to a client.
Yes, the client actually what happened, so you cannot create or delete the VLANs. Okay, on the client. In client, you cannot create or delete the VLAN from the client switch. Okay, and in the server, you can do anything. You can create, delete, append, so on and so far. You can do it. Okay, but in the, especially here, you cannot. If you will make VTP mode as a client, then you cannot configure the VLAN. I will show you how. VTP, sorry, configure terminal. Okay, now VTP mode client. Can I create the VLAN here? Yes, please tell me. Can I create the VLANs?
No.
No.
No. See here, VLAN 10. VLAN 10 configuration is not allowed because the device is in a client mode. See, I cannot configure. Even I cannot delete. Okay. So because of that one, we are making these switches as a client switches. Okay. Now, see. So now if you will see here, now we need to configure the VTP mode or VTP. So here we have what we need to set, VTP domain. So just let me keep this one here. We need to set the same VTP domain. Okay. Now VTP domain. So the VTP domain is IoT. Okay. So this is the IoT. VTP domain is IoT and VTP password. Okay. So VTP password is again IoT. Okay. Now this is done. Okay. Now if you will see, do show, sorry, do show VLAN brief. Now you can see automatically these VLAN information is transmitted from this switch to this switch. You can see, did I create any VLAN here? Did I create any VLAN? No, because I just configured the VTP mode client and server and the same password, so they exchange the VLAN information. Now this switch 1 and switch 2 exchange the VLAN information. Is it clear? The same thing I need to do with this switch number 3. Okay, this switch number 3. Okay, now switch 3, there is a, okay, switch 3, this is also, we need to make it as a client, and VTP domain name is IoT and password is also IoT. Now if you will just see here, show VLAN brief, you can see, is there any VLAN in this switch? Do we have any VLAN in this switch? No. Yeah, we don't have the VLAN. So why? Because we need to set that VTP domain and password, and this VLAN information will be exchanged from switch 1 to switch 3 automatically. Okay, now see here. Now VTP mode, sorry, configure terminal. Okay, configure terminal, and then VTP mode is client again, and VTP domain is, what is domain? IoT, and VTP password is again IoT. Okay, done. Now if you will see here, so because we need to set the VTP domain and VTP password. Other than this, you can see show VLAN brief. Now you can see automatically these VLAN information has been exchanged from switch number 1 to switch 3. Yes, did you notice? Yes, clear? Yes, all of you?
Yes.
Okay, now this VLAN we have done, configure VTP, we have configured the VLAN trunking. Now we already configured the VLAN in the switch 1, and now this trunk access, okay, access mode to the switch interface as per the topology here. Now we need to check, okay, whether these are the access port or not. Okay, FA02, FA04, FA05, and this side also, these should be the access port 3, 6, 4, 5. Okay, these should be the access port. Let me check. Show run. Sorry, show run. See, so these ports should be access port. Okay, and here these are the port. So 3, 4, 6, 5. Okay, 5, 6. Okay, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let me make it. We can say 4, 4, 5, 6, and 3. Okay, 4, 5, 6. First 4, 5, 4, 5, 6. Just 1 minute. 4, 5, 6. Okay. Configure terminal. Configure terminal. Okay. So we already have the VLANs. Okay. So here, so what are these VLANs? Okay, so this VLAN, IoT, wireless, and these are the different VLANs. Okay, server, IoT server. Okay, now we need to configure the DHCP later. Configure trunk and access mode to the switch interface as per the topology. So IoT. So all these VLANs. So VLAN, see here, 6, 5, 4, 5, 6 should be the part of VLAN 10, and 6 should be the part of VLAN, sorry, IoT. Let me check the instructions here. So see here, so VLAN 10 is a server. So this is your server. Port number 3 should be the part of VLAN 10, and this one, port number 4, 5, and 6 should be the part of IoT VLAN, and this port should be the part of VLAN 30. Okay, now here let me configure port number 4, 5, and 6 as the part of VLAN 10. Okay, so sorry, VLAN 20. Okay, VLAN 20. So VLAN 20 configure terminal. Sorry, already done. So here switch interface range fast Ethernet. Okay, so what are those? Fast Ethernet 0/4 to 6. Okay, so these are the, we will say, switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 20. Okay, now these port are the part of VLAN 20. Okay, okay, so these port are the part of VLAN 20. Now this server, this is FA03. FA03 should be the part of VLAN 10 based on this instruction. Based on this instruction, this table, so this should be the part of VLAN 10. Okay, this server should be the part of VLAN 10. Okay, now we will go to the VLAN FA03. Okay, this FA03, and here we will say switch port mode access, switch port mode access, switch port access, switch port access VLAN 10. Okay, this is done. Now if you want to see, you can check show VLAN brief. See, so this FA03 we assign to VLAN 10, and FA04, FA05 and FA06 now we assign to VLAN 20. Okay, so this is done. The same thing we need to do it here with this one 3, 4 and 5. 3, 4, 5. So these 3, 4, 5 should be the part of VLAN 20. Okay, 3, 4, 5. So we will go for the let me drag 3, 4, 5. Okay, 3, 4 and 5. Interface range FA0/3 to 3, 4 and 5. Okay, 3, 4, 5. Switch port mode access, switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 20. Okay, because this is our IoT VLAN. So all the IoT devices should be connected with this VLAN 20. Okay, this is done. Done. Okay, this side it is okay. So this is 3 and this is 4 and this is 5. Okay, now here, so switch number 1, so we need to assign this port FA04. If you will see here, so this FA04 we need to assign to VLAN 30. Okay, so VLAN 30 enable. Okay, and this is FA04. Okay, so we will go to FA04 and we will assign to switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 30. Okay, so VLAN 30 done. If you want to see, want to verify, just write show VLAN brief, show VLAN brief. Okay, you can see now FA05 we assign to this VLAN 30. Okay, so this VLAN 30. Now so far it is clear? Yes please. Yes please. Is it clear now? Can I proceed to the next then? Please tell me. So far it is clear now. This is just the things which you already learned. Okay, in your other courses you already learned in network fundamental 1, 2 and routing switching essential. You already learned all these concepts, VLAN, VTP. Okay, and if you will see here, we already configured trunk and access switches. Now you need to configure the DHCP services with the following parameter: server or the router. So now we have the server, so we can configure the in the server. Okay, so you can configure in the router and server, no issue. Okay, so here in this practical. Let me make this one here. Okay, now go to the services. Okay, so we need to create 3 pools: server pool, IoT pool, or wireless pool. Okay, and services. Okay, and here go click it on the DHCP. Okay, so if you will click it on the DHCP, so the service pool is here. No need to go to the server. Okay, the server we will assign static, so we need to create 2 pools, IoT and wireless. For IoT we will just configure IoT. Okay, and default gateway is 172.168.20.1. If you will see here, so this is our 172.16.20.1. we already configured as a default gateway. We already configure here on the router f00. Okay, 00.20 we configured 20.1. Okay, and our DNS is, so DNS is okay, DNS we will configure just for 10.10. 10.10. Start IP address we will say 172.168.16.20. Okay, we can say 10. Okay, and subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Okay, just this is the thing, you 20.10, because the start IP it should start excluding first 10 IP, and rest of the IP it can assign to the end devices. Okay, so now this is the configuration you need it, and add IP address enter to the DNS. Oh, okay, so here, so 10.10. Okay, 10.10 services should be on. Okay, this is the IoT we already done. See, for the IoT VLAN we have configured. Now we need to configure the IoT VLAN we have configured. Now we need to configure for the wireless. Okay, wireless. Okay, wireless, another scope. So here 30.1. Okay, so this is 30.1. DNS is 10.10. It is same, and 30.10 we can say it is a start IP, and here we can add another one. So we have configured wireless and IoT. Okay, the services is on. So we configure the DHCP services this time in the server. Okay, so last time if you remember we configure on the router, and this time we configure the DHCP services on the server machine. Okay, now this is done. Okay, 20 and wireless 30. Okay, this is 20 and this is 30. Okay, is it clear so far? Now see, now here first we need to check the connectivity between the server here. Now we need to see, so here we need to write the IP helper command. Okay, IP helper command we need it. Okay, so here go to the desktop. So here we need to add the IP address of the server. Okay, so we need to add the IP address of the server 10.10. Okay, this is our this is the IP address of the server. Okay, so here we need to assign the IP address of the server 10.10 and subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Okay, and default gateway is 10.1 and DNS is 10.10. Okay, so this is the IP we assign here. Okay, so this is the IP we assign. Now, so here we just need to configure the, as we already configure here. Where is this one? Yeah, so here see 10. Here we just need to configure this one, IP helper. Okay, so IP helper command. Let me go to the 20 and 30. Enable configure terminal, because we are configuring this one the inter VLAN first. Okay, so here interface FA020. Okay, IP helper, sorry, IP helper, HELPER, IP helper command, IP, sorry, IP helper address. So what is our IP helper address? As I told you, so this is our IP helper address. So what is this one? 10.10, yeah. So 192.168.10.10 IP helper 172.16.10.10. This is our, you can see 16.10.10. This is our IP helper address. Okay, now this is the address. Okay, so here we need to configure also for we also need to configure for VLAN 30. Okay, IP helper. Okay, so we have done, and let me check. So it is in progress. You can see it is not, but here FA01, this should also be a trunk. Okay, so we need to go to this port FA01, and this port should also be a trunk. Okay, this port should also be a trunk. FA01 should also be a trunk. Okay, this is FA01. So if you will see here FA01, and this FA01 should be a trunk. Switch port mode trunk, switch port mode trunk. Okay, so this should also be a trunk. So fast forward. Okay, now save and check the connectivity. Okay, so from here to this one, now you can see, now it is successful. You can see it is successful. Now you need to check here the services, the IoT services. Okay, now so far it is done. Okay, now here if you will see, you need to get the IP here. So go this one, go to the config tab, FA00, get the IP addresses, fast Ethernet, DHCP. It will get the IP automatically. You can see, so it is getting the IP. Go this one, go to the config FA00. It will get the IP from the server. You can see it is getting the IP. Go to the door, go to the config tab, then click it on FA00, click it on DHCP. It will get the IP. You can see it is getting the IP. Now this PC also, go to the desktop, this one, click it on DHCP, and it will get the IP automatically. Go to the window, click it on window, click it on config tab, click it fast FA00 DHCP, it will get the IP. Did you notice? Go to the fan, go to config, click it on Ethernet, click it on DHCP. Now you see, now it is getting the IP. So all are getting the IP addresses. If you'll go to the smartphone, go to the desktop and go here, and it is getting the IP. You can see 30. All devices are getting the IP from this server. Did you notice this one? Now we have just last 10 minutes. Now we need to perform the so we need to register. Now the purpose here is we need to register these IoT devices with our IoT server. Okay, we need to register these IoT devices with registration server. You remember last time we did it, the same step we need to follow. So what is the step? Can you tell me please how we can register this one, these devices here? How I can register? How we can register here? If you will go and see now the IoT, sorry, the IoT monitoring server. Okay, admin login. Sorry, 10.10 now. 172.16.10. Sorry, 1 minute. I will go here, no problem. 172.16.10.10. Okay, if you will see here, welcome packet tracer. Okay, 17. IoT monitoring server. Just 1 minute. 1 minute here. See here. So first of all, we need to go to the services. Here we need to enable the registration server. Okay, so we have open this one, registration server. Okay, now IoT server we have opened. Okay, now 10.10. See here. So first we need to sign up. Okay, sign up mean admin. So this is the username password I am going to create. Okay, you can see, is there any device is registered so far? Can you tell me please? Is there any device registered so far? Hello?
No.
No. So we need to register these devices with this registration server. Okay, this is my registration IoT server. So I need to register. Okay, so I will go one by one. Okay, so please now watch carefully, listen carefully how we can register. Okay, let me keep it open. Okay, now see here, click it on motion sensor. Okay, and go to the, see here, now go to the remote server. So what is our server address? So this is our server address. Okay, so 192.16.10.10, username is admin and password is also admin. Click on connect. If you will see, did you notice? Immediately it has been registered. You can see. Did you notice now? Now go to the webcam. Okay, go to the remote server, click it on the remote server, and server IP address is 10.10. Username is admin, password is also admin. Click it on connect. You can see the camera is also connected. Did you notice now? Okay, so now this is now door. We need to again go to the click it on the door, go to the remote server, server IP address, click admin and admin, connect. Okay, now you can see the door is, now it is connected. You can see now here, if you will see Windows, 1 minute. Okay, now here the Windows. Okay, go to the remote server, server IP. This is the, now username is admin and password is also admin, connect. You can see now it is registering. Okay, now fan, we need to also register the fan. Okay, just 1 minute. So register the fan, remote server IP, and username is admin, password is also admin. Click it on connect. You can see now all devices is registered. Okay, okay, now based on the condition, what we need to do now, here, based on the given instructions. Okay, so now we need to write the condition. So what condition we need to type here? If the motion is detected, then the camera should be on. If the motion is detected, the camera should be on. If the motion is not detected, the camera should be off. Okay, okay, now first we need to write the condition here. Okay, so we need to write the condition on the server. So what is the first condition? If the motion is detected. Okay, if the motion is, 1 minute, let me open, because yes please tell me. Okay, now if you will see here, now we need to add the condition. Okay, so what is the first condition? Please tell me. What is the first condition? Yeah, so the first condition is the motion detection. Okay, motion detection. Okay, if the motion detection on. Okay, if the motion is detected. Okay, then here we need to write the motion sensor is true. Okay, motion on is true, then camera on is true. Okay, and the second, is there any, if the motion, okay, this is the one. Okay, so click okay, then add one more condition. If the motion, no motion, just no motion, camera on status is false. If, okay, sorry, if the sorry, if no motion, if the motion sensor on status is false, then camera on status should be false. Okay, so this is the condition we need to type. Okay, now we write two condition. Okay, the motion detection, the first condition is motion detection, okay, is true. Okay, set the camera on to true. The second condition, no motion. Okay, if no motion is detected, motion sensor is false, and set the camera on to false. Okay, okay, this is the first condition. Let me check the condition first here. Okay, sorry, I have closed. And 1 minute, IT monitoring, admin 172.16.10.10. Okay, now motion sensor and camera. Now you can see the motion is detected, and you will see the camera should be on. Okay, so the motion is detected. Okay, now you will see the motion is detected and camera should be on. So far no image, but you can see the camera is on. The camera is on. If you will see here, see, now both are on. Okay, so this is the way you can do it. Now it is off and both are off. Okay, this is the first condition. If the fan is on, the window should be closed. Okay, if the fan is off, the window should be open. Okay, now there is another condition. This is the condition. Now just please check the condition. Another condition is, if the fan is on, the window should be closed. Okay, if the fan is on, the windows should be closed, and if the fan is off, the window should be open. Now we need to type this one. Okay, so if the fan, so here go to the condition. Condition is, so here let me stop. Okay, now condition here, I'm going to type another condition. Add the condition. If the fan is on, fan on. Okay, so here fan on, just the name fan on. This is the name of the rule. So if the motion, sorry, if the fan is on, if the fan status is, sorry, if the fan status is high, then Windows on status should be false. So if the fan is on, if the fan is on, you can see the fan is on, then window should be closed. Yeah, window should be closed. Okay, so this is done. Now you need to add another condition. If the fan is off, okay, the fan off, fan off. Okay, if the fan is off, fan status is off, then the Windows on status should be true. Okay, so the Windows, set the Windows on to true. Okay, see here, set the Windows on to true. So we write all the condition. Now go to the home, and you can see this is window and this is fan. Okay, now let me minimize this one, and you will see now here we will click the fan status. Okay, see, the fan status is on high, so your windows should be the windows should be on. Okay, so here, see, so if the fan is off, the windows is open. If the fan will be on, if you will see here, fan is, see, the fan is now on. See, the windows is closed. Now it's clear, all of you? Any doubt so far? So we have done our activity. Okay, and you can write any condition, anything. It's up to you how you are going to simulate your environment. Okay, now